So, dear colleagues, dear friends out there, warm welcome this time with a special guest, a guest I only know from social media, but a very interesting guest, Jabir Kazi. Is the pronunciation, is that correct, or how do you say your name?
We're pretty close. Thank you
Pretty
for
close.
having us. Yeah.
How do you spell it?
So it's Jabir.
Jabir
Yeah.
Kazi.
So you're
This
90% there. It's pretty good.
No, okay. Anyway, nice to have you here. Nice to talk to you about some interesting projects. You
Yeah.
sent me information about your person. You're a very young guy, but a
Yeah.
person, young, talented, highly motivated. So, Jabir, let's jump into the first question. Tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah. So as you say, I'm pretty young in my career. I'm 28. I graduated from Newcastle University, which is right up in the north of England. I know that people have struggled. We always think about the UK, and it's always London, as you were saying before the program. But I graduated from Newcastle in 2017, around November time. At that point, I started Dentist of Insta in the December, and I've been working as a general dentist since. As well as doing a little bit of work on the side from social media, which I think a few people do know me from, which is nice. And I've got a few projects on the go, and some which I hope some people will enjoy, which are coming up in the near future.
Cool. Sounds great. So let's go to the next question. Everybody knows about the pandemic going on, but
yeah,
I started during these last 1.5 years or 1 year, getting more confident on camera, doing live interview like the one we're doing today, exploring new ideas, promoting my social media accounts, etc., etc. But I think the pandemic boosted your career. A lot of people are saying, well, I get depressive, I don't know what to do. But I think you took the chance to get more in front of the camera, let's say in front of the camera, not only, but in front of a different audience. So a lot of speakers have disappeared during these days, and you have appeared. So is it correct if I say the pandemic was like a chance you have taken?
Yeah, I think for sure the pandemic came at a time when I was early in my career. I have all these things set up. I had the YouTube channel, I had Dentist of Insta, I had my own personal Instagram, and I started in the September just before the pandemic. I did 2 very similar to this live interviews with a couple of really interesting people, dentists, just to get to know people and to get out there, and probably very similar to what you're doing, but we were a bit more clinical focused. So one was special needs dentistry, sorry, and the other one was a pediatric dentist in the States. So we'd done that, and then I started a new job, and it all went on the back burner. And then, 6 months later, we get to the pandemic, and all these things that I've lined up guests, at some point we should do this. And they're saying, yeah, but we can do this weekend. I said, oh, I can't do that weekend. What about this day? Everything stopped. So all these people that I'd been trying to fit in and trying to organize with, we suddenly have the perfect chance to rattle off these interviews. And that kind of gave me a really big boost. So I went into almost overdrive, and I was doing lots and lots of stuff on Instagram Live. Some things which were very much similar to this, where we're speaking to somebody and just getting to know them. And sometimes it was case studies, how to do this treatment, how to do that treatment. Sometimes it was, a whole variety of things which would be interesting to the dental profession or may expand their horizons a little. So, I definitely took advantage of it, because I don't think I was very well known up until that point.
Yeah, so this is like a new chance using this channel. So I met a lot of so-called famous dentists who use their social media channels as almost exclusive channels for advertising, communicating, for almost everything, to attract the people, to fill their workshops, to do lectures, whatever, skipping the conventional media more and more. So we have like a separation. We have a new generation, and I think you're part of this new generation, jumping on new technology that already exists for, say, let's say, several years, but
Yeah.
was not used in that extent it's used now. And again, I think the last 1 year or the last 1.5 year boosted a lot of this content, made some other people that were used to stay on the stage, in the conference halls, you don't see them these days anymore, so they kind of disappeared, and other people took over the stage. And one of these guys is also yourself, doing what you're doing. So let's go back to another question I want to ask you, being what the 28 years are the Z generation, or what
I think
is it?
I'm millennial. Yeah.
Millennial.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, millennial. So the next is then the C generation. I don't
I
know.
think
So
so.
I'm
I
a
get
little bit confused with all these generations. So I'm one of the past baby boomers. So
yeah.
and I can tell you, my sons are 28 and 30.
Yeah,
So
we're millennials. Yeah, because
yeah,
our
yeah,
childhood
millennials. Okay.
was in
So
the 90s and 2000s. Yeah.
yeah, it's like my kids when they were young, asking me, Dad, what was your preferred video game? And I had to tell them there were no video games when I was your age. So
You
this
had like
is
Pac-Man and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah, but Pac-Man came up in the end of the 70s. So this was then I was already finished with school almost. So what is your favorite social media channel? So there's a lot of discussion or arguments around what social media channel should you be in or on or using. What I found over the last year is, don't try to be everywhere. Don't try to be on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, you name it. Now the latest hype with Clubhouse. I think it doesn't make sense to try to be everywhere,
Yeah.
unless you are a professional and have to do this for professional reasons. So what is your strategy, or what are your favorite social media channels? From my side, I prefer to stay on Instagram and YouTube. So what about you?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think if you're going to pick a certain social media channel, you should have an active plan of why you're going to be on that channel and what it's going to do for your career or your objectives. So for myself, I want to have people refer me endodontic treatment. I'm not a specialist, but I have the special interest. So I need to think, where are the best places for that to happen for me? And, before and afters are perfect for Instagram. There's a very healthy community of endodontists on Instagram, for example. And they're also a younger generation. So a younger generation is more likely to send treatment to me than an older generation, which is on Facebook, for example. So that's something that you have to think about. Where are your target audience based? And what kind of content are you good at producing? So if you're somebody who can't do a long form video, YouTube for sure is not the right place for you. So it really depends, I think, similar to what you were saying, on who you are as a person and what content you want to produce. So for me, I'm on Instagram and I'm on YouTube, and I have a TikTok, but that's more for fun as opposed to anything serious. So it really depends on the goal. I also have, Twitter and stuff, but they're not professionally used. Does that make sense? I don't know if I want to dive in further there.
Yeah, please feel free. Yes.
Yeah. So with each place or each social media channel, I think there's a different way of using it, obviously, and also a different end goal. So on Instagram, it's very much to get your face out there. You get good organic reach if you're putting informational posts, which, you know, like your camera posts are brilliant. I'm sure you get hundreds of saves and likes on every post because they're things that people want to go back to and to have a look at and refer back to, you know, when they're taking photographs in clinic or when they're deciding which camera to get, which bracket to get, which flash system to invest in. So it's really good for you there. So it's, for me, that's my base. So if you think about a triangle or a pyramid, Instagram is my wide reach sort of an audience. I'm getting people to just know who I am. And then after that, I would like people to move towards my YouTube channel where we're doing longer form content, or the Instagram live where again, we're doing longer form content where they can understand me as a person a bit more. So it's all about building for me that relationship between the audience and myself, so that at some point, for example, you can see I have some mugs and we've got the merch. People aren't going to just see on Instagram and buy something, for example. They want to have that connection with you. Go, that guy always gives me good information or good value for, you know, all the work that he's doing. I don't mind helping him out by buying a mug with some teeth on it, or an endodontic case because I've seen some of his work and he seems like a cool guy. I don't mind sending it to that guy. So it's all about, for me, building those levels of trust and the places that you can do that best for your personality type. So for me, that is definitely Instagram. It is TikTok because I can get personality out over there and do, you know, funnier videos, maybe not so clinical, but people can go, oh yeah, he's cool, he's nice, I'd like to hang out with him. And then YouTube where, oh, he's actually got lots of opinions on things and he can talk about X, Y, Z, and he understands treatment, or he understands whatever it is you're trying to talk about.
Yeah, it's like YouTube. YouTube is, let's say, the future of television. A lot of people say YouTube will replace the conventional TV, beside programs like Netflix, Disney Channel, all this. So the conventional TV will not disappear, but is losing a lot of people watching. So the impact of
already.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to learn something, it's like Google and the visual Google, where I not only see words and things. It's like on YouTube. Oh, how do I assemble a product? And you find all the manuals and everything on YouTube. So that's a large pool of information. But I found personally, it's not so easy to get your foot in YouTube. So some people are very popular and very successful, but I think you need to invest a lot of time to really get successful on YouTube. Instagram takes a little less effort to become or to create the base. So I completely agree with you to say, okay, Instagram is like my base of the pyramid, and then I go up, and YouTube is like not only the point, but the higher part of the pyramid. And inside the pyramid, you have maybe other things. Coming back to Facebook, what I have realized, and there's one statement of our oldest son some years ago when Facebook started. He told me the day his grandfather sent him a friendship request was the day to leave Facebook.
Yeah.
and I really see it's like sending happy birthday greetings, meeting old classmates. So for me, Facebook has lost the initial drive. It's becoming very, very slow, not really interactive as Instagram and even YouTube are. Do you agree on that?
Yeah, Facebook and what's his name, Mark Zuckerberg, have really ruined what initially was a brilliant platform. By bringing in the advertising in that such way, and then going away from the chronological timeline to a algorithm-based timeline, especially on Facebook. I think it's really killed the platform. And then obviously, like you say, people's grandparents and parents have gone on there, and people no longer want to share albums of the photographs, when they've been out and about with friends, and for distant family members to poke their noses in and have a look at or something. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's really ended it, and Instagram has kind of taken over, and people, everybody's a photographer now because the phones are so good. I mean, I don't like using the phone. I think we're both the same. You can see I've got my lenses in the background and stuff, but so I'm definitely a camera guy. But everybody is an amateur photographer now. You've got access to a very, very good camera system on your phone if you're getting an iPhone or some of these newer Samsung or Huawei, with the computational photography where it can work out what should be in focus, what shouldn't be in focus, and exposures really, really nicely, and all those sorts of things. So people can be more creative with just that thing that's in their pocket all the time. So I think that visual aspect of Instagram has really taken over.
Yeah, because there was a saying of a colleague of mine: man is a visual animal.
Yeah.
So for us, seeing things is very important, and especially if photography is seeing, is not hearing. So if you're not a blind person, you use your eyes. So this is a very important thing. That's why I think also Instagram is, for me, the visual communication tool I like to use most. So let's go back to Instagram. And another question I want to ask you: why? You told me before we started, you started with Dentists of Insta in 2017, so 3.5 years ago. So what was your idea? What was the initial idea of creating this project? Which, by the way, we can show this has 54,000 followers, and this is really showing. I must say, a lot of young female and male colleagues from around the world presenting themselves. I like the idea very much of this sharing or exposing the dental community a little bit in a different way. So what was the initial idea of this project?
It is very much a networking opportunity. I think there are lots of accounts out there, the likes of iDentistry, Dentistry My World, etc., which are showing treatment before and afters. But for me, that's not always the most interesting part of dentistry. There are people behind each one of these cases, and everybody has an individual story and how they got there, and difficulties or challenges and obstacles along the way to becoming a dentist, or to owning a practice, or to succeeding in a certain aspect of their career or their life. And I think Dentists of Insta is probably the best place for people to share their story, where they're not just defined by the treatment that they're doing. So, because there will be people who are serving underprivileged communities who the treatment doesn't look all very impressive, but it's very, very key, for those communities or for those patients that see them. But that doesn't get lots of clicks and views because it's not a smashing, before and after cosmetic veneer case or whatever it might be. So my idea is, this is the place where people can come to see who the profession is and who they really are, not just what their treatment is.
Okay, no, I really like it, and I like reading the captions, not just looking at the picture. So knowing more about who's the person on the picture, not just the thing of, oh, I like it, I click, I give it a like, but a lot of people are not reading the captions. So it's something like reading magazines. You might know that I'm running the International Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry, and over all the last 16 years I'm doing this. I was a little bit disappointed about the very low number of feedbacks on the text. So people, even in this so-called highly scientific journals, most of the readers are just looking at the pictures,
Yeah.
maybe read the captions of the pictures, but not really reading the whole text to understand better. So this is something I for me is a pity. People should read more, and not only consume the image, but take also the back information, the additional information you have there. And so far, I didn't find the receipt or the right way to motivate people more to read the captions. I took coachings. I'm talking constantly to so-called social media experts, and they give you advice. But at the end, it's not so easy. It's not so easy to attract people with your text and not only with the image. So it's easy for people to click on an image, say, oh, looks nice, I give it a like.
Swipe.
But then doing the next step, add a comment or even start a discussion, I find it not that easy. I don't know how you are seeing or facing this situation.
So, I mean, I'm in complete agreement with you. And, you know, my YouTube channel, I'll just say, is my fight back against, you know, the lazy, quick 15-second video that everyone, you know, or 5-second videos that people want to consume now. People find it very difficult to consume or to commit to consuming longer pieces of content, which takes effort. And it's the same with the captions. So, for example, I know that your dentist camera posts all say, what do you think about exposure triangle or whatever the particular topic is of the day? And I think you're right. You know, it's very difficult because people just come on Instagram, I think, for light relief, you know, not always to really learn something. And it's very difficult to get them to engage in that way. So I think I have the same issue. So if you jump back across to Dentist of Insta, I'll show you something, because I hide little amusing little nuggets in all my posts. So if you go to the third post,
So
nobody
this
knows.
one
Yeah, with
the guy with the mask.
yeah, the guy with the mask. So
Okay.
I've tagged it as Pink Room as the location.
Ah,
Sometimes if somebody's
yeah.
sometimes people are on stairs, so I'll tag the location as stairs. Or there was one with the Golden Gate Bridge. I just put some bridge, and a few people noticed. But there's all these hidden little jokes in the way that I do the post sometimes. So there was a point where every time that a patient was also in the picture, I was tagging myself as the patient next to the dentist, and no one really noticed. But it's not on all of them because sometimes I don't have time to do it. But yeah, so that's the thing, that people aren't paying attention. I like to put little nuggets and Easter eggs, as Elon Musk would call it, hidden little jokes in there. So yeah, you're right. People don't notice these things.
So I will pay more attention. I will pay more attention in the future. No, because I really try on the accounts I'm following. I really try not only to consume the pictures, but go through, and I don't click on every picture. I don't like every picture because some pictures I don't like. So or if people are sending me images, so I get a lot of images sent to me. Can you repost this? Can you repost that? And sometimes I tell them, look, do you really like this picture? So my first question, if somebody's sending me something that I don't like, I ask him or her if she or he likes what he has sent me or she has sent me.
Yeah.
And if then they say, yes, this is the best I can do, then I say, oh, look, I cannot share this. It's overexposed. It's unsharp. It's the wrong angle of view. But it's I always try not to offend anybody, because my goal with all I'm doing is I want to share information, I want to share knowledge, and I
mm,
think it's important to do this on an open base. So be open and clear to each other,
yeah.
and not just say, yeah, you're a cool guy and this what you're doing is great and is perfect. So I think we should discuss, and only in the discussion and sharing information and telling each other, look, I don't like what you're doing, but not just I don't
How this is how
like.
you can improve it.
Yes, absolutely,
Mm,
absolutely. So this, for me, this is the sharing of information, the sharing of knowledge, which brings all together to the next level. So I think this is how I use and I see social media. That's why I do not post anything private. So
mm,
I did the mistakes when I had my first encounter with with social media 10 years ago or 12 years ago, when it really started, where I was not able to separate private and professional life.
yeah.
And this is a big mistake a lot of people are still doing today. So if you want to share private, like you were saying, I have TikTok for fun, or you can say I have Facebook to get in touch with my classmates.
Yeah.
But if I go on Instagram, I have to think, what the hell do I want here? What is my project? What is my vision? What do I want to share? So, do you agree on this?
Yeah, I think there are ways to do it because, like you say, if you don't want your public persona and the people who follow that to know your personal life, you should absolutely kind of shutter it off. I've taken a middle sort of aspect because I want to do, YouTube vlogs. So we inevitably, and I've not done many yet. I needed. I was without a job, so I didn't have the opportunity to shoot these vlogs for a while. But when I do them, there will inevitably be some sort of mixing of the public and the professional. Sorry, personal and the professional life. So it's difficult. But again, you need to work out how you're going to mesh these together. For me, if I'm trying to get my personality out there as a tool to either have people send me referrals or watch my longer videos or whatever it is, I might have to share certain little bits, but there'll be other large parts of my life that I absolutely, like you say, would keep very much private. So yeah, it's a very difficult balancing act. Some people go totally just private, and they will only post very professional images, and they have a separate account for friends, for example. I take a little bit more of a lax method to that because I'm trying to do a bit more of a personal brand as opposed to just a dental brand. So
Okay.
it is more difficult for sure. But I've had a couple of, I would say, clients, people that I've been helping out with setting up their Instagrams or setting up social media. And that's a conversation that we tend to have about how they want to be seen and what kind of content they will and won't post. So yeah, I think you're right. You have to know your objective and then work backwards from their objective audience and then work towards the content.
Yeah, because at the end, it takes a lot of time. If you
Yeah.
if you think to follow all the advices given on Instagram, how to improve, how to grow, how to do this. If I
Mm,
if I if I make my calculation, it's 1, 2, 3 hours a day, and I tell people, hey, sorry guys, in the morning I go to my office and I leave in the evening. So how the hell should I spend all this time to
yeah.
do what you are advising me to do, to boost your account, to grow the account, to get whatever, or monetize your account? Did you ever, by the way, did you ever think, and this is maybe the next question, what are
Yeah.
your next plans? So is one plan to make money with social media? So this is a question I always ask young
Yeah.
people, and I tell you a little bit background information. So I had an interview with a young dentist, and his sister is also a dentist, but she's making much, much more money being an influencer than working as a dentist. So how do you see this? How do you see the situation, or what are your next plans? Do you think you will invest more time in your social media activities and try to monetize all this in the future? Or do you think, oh, this will be fun for the rest of my life and I will become a dentist working in my own dental
Yeah.
clinic? So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I think the whole monetization thing is very key in a way, because for example, how much time you spend arranging shows like this, arranging all your content that you produce. I mean, you do lots of infographics as well, which can't take, it's not 5 seconds to make an infographic or to make a caption that's captivating. So you do have to think about that. For me, I am in two minds, I will be honest. I don't want to be somebody who's promoting things that I don't believe in. So I've said no to a whole heck of a lot of DMs saying, can you promote my toothbrush brand or charcoal toothpaste, for example, or, clear aligner, direct to consumer system, or whatever it might be. And I've not taken any of those opportunities up because I want to keep myself clear in conscience in that way. I would prefer if people would see my content, see my live videos. I've turned on Instagram badges so people can give 50 pence or €1 or whatever it is, when they're watching a video, if they're really enjoying it, which is great. And it's not going to be a big earner for any by any stretch of the imagination, but every little bit helps, I suppose. I'm looking at YouTube like yourself, so you're probably looking at your watch hours. How many have we got to get to the 4,000? Which is a lot, isn't it? It takes a long time. So I'm 1,600 hours at the moment. So there's a fair bit to go to get to that point. But I don't think at any point Instagram will be a main source of income. It will definitely be maybe indirectly. People will maybe look at the treatment I'm doing and give me the opportunity to treat their patients who need root canals or in the future implants. So that might be a possibility, but I don't think I'll be doing sponsored posts like that. I have the merch line, which is going to be, amusing things on t-shirts or hoodies. So maybe people can do that, but I don't want it to be a point of, I won't post a picture of you unless you pay me $25 like some other accounts out there. I don't want to be affiliated with brands in that way, only if I was using something that I really, really believed in. So for example, I use the microscope, which I think was in my last post. I get a small commission if somebody wants to get one of those, for example, but nothing that would be, just out of the blue and somebody would say, oh, £100 to post this. I would probably say no to that.
Yeah, so reading your between the lines, I see that you think Instagram or YouTube are marketing tools you might use in the future. So to attract people, it's like if you analyze Instagram accounts of different. I'm looking at dentists. Obviously, I'm a dentist, so I'm looking at dentists. I'm looking at photography. I'm not interested in. I don't know what, because it would be endless. So I'm focusing on my niche, photography, dentistry, and a little bit surrounding. Sometimes then I follow a tech account to get some more information, but then I unfollow because it's too much information that I'm not able to consume. But as a marketing tool, so there are two major Instagram accounts run by dentists. One is patient only. So the famous dentists with several 100,000 followers are posting only for their patients. That's why you only see before and after. You see videos of the VIP patients they have, and it's all about getting new patients
More
into the
patients in the door.
office. They don't care if any dentist is watching this. If any dentist is posting a comment, they are not interested in that. To make it a little bit, let's say, to formulate it a little bit extremely. Then we have the other way, the other people who want to sell something. And what I have realized, we have a lot of accounts from East Europe, which are selling products related to photography or dentistry in general. And you know the trick how they do these international shops. They are just reselling Alibaba stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a business model. It's micro shopping. So I present a product for €5 that I buy for €2, and the shipment is done directly from where I'm buying it for €2, and I send it to you. They send it to you, and I get the commission, or I take the €2. And it's interesting that this business model still works. I'm a little bit surprised that people do not realize that they can go directly to all these
people
Chinese
lazy.
or whatever
found,
websites and buy their stuff directly from there, and not just spend more money buying on a in between seller. I don't know the correct
Third
term in
party.
English. What is this?
We call it a third party seller.
Yeah,
So
third party seller.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that people, if these shopping channels are also very popular. What is your opinion as a young colleague, as a young person with a different approach to all this? How do you see these different strategies on social media?
Yeah, I think it's purely down to the laziness of people not, shopping around, and I guess it's their loss if they're going to spend extra money that they could have saved. I guess it is what it is, isn't it? There's nothing much you can do about it. And those guys who are doing the selling as the third party seller aren't doing anything wrong. They're just taking advantage of the way that people are and the impulse that they have when they see certain things.
Okay. Yeah, so nothing to add. This was just a remark I made over the last month, analyzing things. So let's come to the last question. One of the most important one I ask everybody during my interviews is, what's your advice for younger colleagues out there? So especially these days, a lot of not only young dentists are really struggling. They have problems with the education. I heard from some universities that they might ask the students to repeat the last year because they were not able to do any practical trainings. And without training of our hands, we are not able to really be sent to treat people out there. So how do you see all this? And would you say young colleagues should jump on social media, or besides becoming a dentist, doing other things? We not have even talked about your passion for general photography, for videography. This would maybe fill another interview. What you love to do besides social media and dentistry. But what would you tell a young colleague? Let's talk about young dentists out there in this situation.
I think that's, when we talk about Dentists of Insta, one objective is for the networking, but the secondary objective is to make as much of this education free as I can, because as you said, I can't remember if it was before we started, during the pandemic, loads of people were doing webinars for free. and did some very good education. And I want to continue that because from my point of view, especially in the States, these guys are paying upwards of $500,000. So I would like, my advice would be to make use of all the free sources of information that are out there. For example, if we're looking at dental photography, we have your channel. And actually one of the things that I'm doing on my channel is going to be something a little bit similar, how to choose the camera, which lens to buy, all that sort of thing. Very much my opinion. And you're probably a better place to go to than I am. But like you say, cameras is one of the things that I quite enjoy. But I think you're probably much better than I am. But that's kind of one of the secondary aims, is to make as much of this dental education free as I can. And I see that there are courses out there which are charging ridiculous amounts of money for things that you can go onto YouTube and learn general photography, which the principles still apply in dental photography for free. And I think that's one of the things, if you haven't had, as a young dentist, the best experience in university, really pick your battles with going on extra courses, etc., etc. I would be picking up a good camera. I would be taking before, middle, after shots of every bit of treatment that you do. And then, you can go home and stick it on your laptop or your TV if you want, and really hone in on what you've done well and what you've done badly, or where you can improve. And that's probably the best way that you can ever kind of step up in your career outside of the dental school. Because let's, for example, say, Alessandro, what did you do today at work? So I don't know, give me an example of a case.
What I did today?
Yeah.
Okay. Today I had 2 patients where I placed implant crowns. So
Yeah.
after doing the impression last week, we placed together with my lab technician implant crowns. I did. You might know I'm a passionate CEREC dentist.
Yeah.
So I did 3 CEREC restorations. So usually I'm doing more, but today it was a little bit more a mixed day of 2-3 emergencies, 3 CEREC restorations, and 2 implant patients. So this was basically my day today. And then I have to check my hygienists.
Yeah.
I have to do some office work. I check my emails. I tried to read some during the milling time of my CEREC machine. I tried to read also some social media posts.
Yeah.
So I tried to be organized. So my message to young colleagues out there is to schedule things. I think beside what you were saying, picking the camera, documenting things, is to find good mentors. So education can not only be online, because the problem of online education is, how do you judge if what you see is of good quality, is really state of the art, if you don't know the people? There are some, let's say, well-known clinicians around the world that even young dentists know, but at the end, I can tell you some names that I think are the best or very important people, and you don't know them. And the other way around, you can tell me people that you think, wow, they're the best out there. You tell me the names, and I have to admit, I don't know them. So it's finding in your network, in your area, a good mentorship of let's say, an educational network is very important. So basically, you can also rely on some professional organizations. I recommend things like, if you're a fan of implant treatment, the ITI being a very good international network. There are many out there. So
my point was more towards those patients that you saw today. Let's say, God forbid, one of your crowns, something went wrong. If you didn't take a photograph of your prep and a photograph, after your seating and after cementation, and then something goes wrong in 6 weeks, you're not going to be able to remember what it looked like or where the markups were with the occlusion, in the same way that if you'd just taken a couple of clicks on your camera, you can now review the case and go, I see what happened there. I left it a bit too high on that cusp. Okay, let's remove that cusp lower now. And you've learned from your own case very easily. And I
Absolutely.
think
No,
that's
I absolutely agree. But you cannot
yeah,
take pictures of everything you're doing.
no,
So this would be too time consuming. So
no,
I
not for somebody in your position, for a younger guy, because when we come out, certainly in the UK, we get half an hour or 40 minutes for a checkup and 2 hours for a root canal, or an hour and a half for fillings initially. If at that point you're taking photographs and you've got time because the guy next door in the UK has to come and check, you have time while he's finishing up on his patient to do that. You can really quickly build up your information.
absolutely, yeah.
As you get better, you don't need to do it as much. That's
That's a great advice, and it's good to hear that that's not always the case, that young dentists get the time they need to learn, to train themselves. So this is also important message, maybe from your side or my interpretation, because sometimes people ask, where should I go to work? And I tell them, look, you have to choose a good job where they give you the time you need to train yourself, that you are also controlled, that your work is checked, and you're not only just the money maker. Do as many fillings as possible, prep the teeth. I don't care about how the prep looks. It's important that you produce. So I think I liked your message of, I want to take my time, I want to learn, I want to improve, but you need the person or the people that are able to show you how to do it. Otherwise, if somebody's coming in and you say, I did this filling, and you say, yeah, it's okay, without even watching, without even checking. So so that's I think important. And take the time to take pictures. This is something I always recommend, not only to young dentists, also to more experienced dentists, to document not all the cases. Important is to take before images before you start the treatment, and then you can decide if you do some in between records, in between documentation, final documentation, and then there's the high-end documentation you need for lectures, for publications, where you need the extra time. So I then schedule double the time. So for something that I need 1 hour, if I want to do the documentation of the treatment, I need 2 hours.
Yeah. I work with the scope, so I can do live. I can just record as I'm going.
Just look
back. So I'm in a very different situation to most people, I think. But yeah, you're right. As you get more experience, you're going to need to do the extra shots much less and less, unless you say like you're going to be doing some lecturing or presentations. So I was more saying towards the younger guys who are going to have a little longer appointments anyway and want to learn quickly. That for me was the best thing that I did. You know, in that first year out, I took thousands of photos while I was in the clinic. And I think it really helped me because I could see in good detail exactly what was going on. And my photographs, incidentally, were not a work of art at that point. I was shooting on auto sometimes because I was just, wanted to do quickly and just to get a record of what it kind of looked like. Wasn't anything special, just so I could see. So that would be my big kind of advice to the younger guys there who are really, really into it and want to get better and better.
Wow, interesting, cool. So Jabir, thank you very much. Or Jabir.
Yeah.
You know why I'm saying Jabir and not Jabir? Because in Italian, I'm originally from Italy. In Italian and French, you pronounce the second
longer.
The second part. So if you have a name, my name is De Vigus. It's not De Vigus. It's De Vigus. So it's the second part.
It's that intonation.
Intonation. It's always on the second part of the word, not on the first. And in English, it's on the first.
Well, my name is Arabic, so actually the English.
Yeah, but nevertheless. So my advice, if you want to sound Italian, you have to change the intonation on where you place the highlight of the of
The
your
word.
of the words. So this is but thanks again for
Yeah.
being my guest. It was very interesting, and we will definitely, our ways will cross for sure.
Yeah, I
I
think
will
we just
watch.
scratched the surface.
I will, yeah, I will watch not only your Dentist of Insta, but also your other activities, your YouTube channel, and everything you're doing. So keep up the good work. And people like you, from my point of view, you could be my son. And I have to tell you, no, I have to tell you, I would love to see more young people not being so negative. So be more positive and say, look, I'm here. I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm taking the situation, and it's me deciding where I go. So I feel passion in what you're doing. I think this is the most important thing. Never do anything because you think you can make money out of it. Do everything you do with passion. So when I started my dental office, so the bank guy asked me, "How much did you do this day?" And I was telling him, "I don't know. I don't know. I just try to work hard. I
Yeah.
just try to do my best. And if I'm doing my best, I think the money or the monetization comes automatically. But never start a project, or especially dentistry, just with the idea in mind, next year I want to buy a Porsche, or I want, then you will become a bad dentist for sure. And I
No,
feel the
that's
passion, I
for
feel
sure.
passion, I feel passion in you, and I'm sure that you will become a good dentist, and not
I
only
hope
a
so.
good dentist, but also a good social media guy. You have a positive, how do you say, um,
Attitude, maybe.
how do you say in English, a
Attitude.
positive
Presence.
presence. Yes, I was looking for this word. A positive presence. You're smiling. So I think we need more people like you from the young generation motivating us. Also the older generation. If we see young blood coming up, young talents coming up. So this makes me happy for the future. So this is my final word for today. So Jabir,
Yeah.
keep up the good work, and the last word is yours.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing me on. I think I've been taking a lot of notice of your dentist camera Instagram channel for sure, and I've dropped into a couple of the YouTube videos as well. I really enjoy kind of everything that you're doing, and I hope it brings you all the success, and we both get verified on YouTube, and that means everybody is enjoying it and consuming your content very much. It's nice to connect with, like you say, it's a different demographic. A lot of the people that I speak to previously, or I post on Dentist of Insta, are very much the younger generation students still, or young grads. So I think it's very important for us to keep in touch with people who are a bit more experienced, a couple more years of experience on top of us, because that's where we're going to learn the most from. And that's kind of where my Instagram or live series or YouTube series are going. We have lots and lots of content on how-to videos or tips for XYZ treatment. So if anybody's looking for free education around the dental world, that's where you can find that. Or just to see me do weird things on TikTok, little 15-second laughs. If you just want a bit of entertainment.
Okay, super cool. So thanks again. And for all out there, subscribe not only to my channel, but also to Jabir channel. And let's see on Dentist Camera and Dentists of Insta and all our social media activity. We will be happy to share information with all you out there. Stay safe, stay healthy, and talk to you soon.
Thank you. We need to share you on Dentist of Insta as well. So Get me a
I will
beautiful
send you,
photograph.
I will send you some images and some captions, and then up to you which one you want to post. It will be my pleasure and my honor to be featured on your account as well.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I will send it to you. Okay, so take care and bye bye.
Bye, guys.